Plaintiff Lawrence Lane married the defendant's mother years ago, and he's known the defendant since he was 5. Lawrence claims the defendant got into drinking and drugs at an early age, and Lawrence is suing him today for stealing one of his guns. Defendant Joshua Modglin says growing up with Lawrence has been a nightmare because he's a heavy drinker. Joshua claims Lawrence has not only had him fired from 2 jobs, but he also threatened to blow Joshua's head off, and therefore Joshua refuses to pay him for anything.
Sir, you're suing your stepson for $2,468 for unpaid loans and stolen property?
Yes.
All right. Explain.
I met my wife in 1985, and I've known Josh since he's 5 years old. When he was 15, he was ticketed for possession of alcohol, and then he had a DWI when he was 16, another one when he was 20. And he did have a little bit of an issue using a controlled substance. But my wife and I, we had a confrontation. Josh had been in detox, and he came to stay at our house, and he was there for about a month or so, and I had my fill because he wasn't doing anything, just laying around the house, not looking for a job. And I made an idle threat that I was going to blow his head off, which I would never have done. But so that freaked my wife out. And she called Josh, and then Josh called my brother, and my brother wound up calling the police. So I had police at my house. Police were wanting to take the guns. I had like 4 or 5 guns there.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. But anyway, my wife took the guns. The police let her take the guns. So these guns
That wasn't a good idea. Particularly after you threatened to kill her son.
But it was taken out of context. I didn't really say that. I was giving her.
Everyone said you said it. Out of context. What context should you have put that in?
But anyway.
Anyway. So I think you got my point.
Yeah, I got you.
Go ahead. And that is, she shouldn't have received those 5 guns either, because you threatening to blow her son's head off may have provoked her at some point. She could have woke up in the middle of the night and said, I just remember what he said to me. Come and put a hot one in you. Go ahead.
The guns wound up being at Pam's mom's house, which is Josh's grandma's, and they put them underneath the bed. Josh was living there, and I guess he got snooping around and found one of the guns. Whenever things cooled down, I went to get the guns to bring them back to our house, and one of the guns was missing. So my wife asked him where the gun was, and at first he said he didn't have it. And the second day he said he did have it. And he kept on saying that it was at his girlfriend's best friend's grandpa's house. And he told me that story for 6 months. So I got to the point where I gave him an ultimatum. I said, either you have the gun back or else I'm going to go to the police station and file charges. And he didn't bring the gun back, so I filed the charges.
Let me stop you there. Were these guns for hunting?
Yes, shotguns.
5 shotguns?
1 rifle, 1 .30 caliber, and 1 carbine. But they were shotguns.
And you hunt with that?
Mm-hmm. Rabbit, squirrel, duck, geese.
Stepsons? The point I wanted to make is that that's why guns are dangerous. And the majority of the people who are murdered by guns are murdered by people they know and relatives. That's why I'm not too crazy about folks having 5 guns particularly. Anyhow, let me allow him to give some background before we finish what you're talking about. Go ahead.
He is right about providing a roof over my head, this, that, and the other when I was a child. But things haven't really been reciprocated from him to me as my mom has treated his children. She treats his children a lot better than he would treat me. And
did he mistreat you?
Never mistreatment.
All right.
I mean, just kind of a father-son relationship that wasn't on the up and up. But
what's that part mean? Up and up. That's what I'm saying.
We didn't play like baseball in the backyard or anything like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. So basically, my whole life, he's been making a living hell,
How?
For instance, just recently.
No, all your life.
All my life.
Let's go all the way back.
Yeah,
When you first started making a living hell, how old were you?
I don't know. Just when I was a child, I remember him like beating up my dad and like making me upset about that. You know, him and my dad.
What else made your life a living? How else did he make your life a living hell other than beating up your father?
I guess just growing up in a household with a lot of alcohol, being drunk, things like that.
Oh, he drank a lot of alcohol in your company?
Sure.
Okay, and you think that led to your alcohol use?
Sure.
Okay. And was your mother around?
Yeah.
Did she drink a lot of alcohol too?
She drinks, yeah.
Okay, so your mother made your life a living hell also?
No.
Because so far all you've told me that I find relevant to your life is your parents drank around you.
Well, I guess, I mean, if you get drunk a lot and then start threatening people to blow their heads off with shotguns and things.
He did that more than once?
That one time that I really remember.
How long ago was that?
Less than a year.
Okay, yeah. Remember we were talking about your childhood, how he made your life a living hell? I'm not going to let you say this man ruined your life. He paid for you to have a roof over your head. He didn't have to do any of that. He could have told your mother, you pay for his share. That ain't my son.
That's right. He could have.
So what else did he do to make your life a living hell?
He just didn't. He was drunk a lot, I guess.
And so were you. And so was your mother. Man, why do you cause his life to be a living hell? Didn't you hear what he said? Drinking around him caused his life to be a living hell. He drank, you drank. Anything else? And did they cause you to use narcotics too?
I mean, there's a lot of stress going around, you know.
Stress causes everybody to use narcotics. At what age did you start?
22.
Right.
23.
Did they cause that? Stress caused that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so you're just weak then because everybody that has stress doesn't use narcotics. Let's get back to you on the stolen property. I'm not going to let this young man sit here and talk about how no good you are and say you made his life a living hell by drinking around him. He hasn't been able to tell me anything else. I asked, oh, you found something now? How else?
What I was trying to say is that lately it's been a living hell for sure.
How old are you?
27, but
You're
this
a
man's had me
grown man. Let me
fired
get back
from
to
2
him.
jobs. He calls my jobs up and has me
says
fired.
what?
The first
not
job,
true.
Right.
first job accused me of fraud for turning on cell phones under his
He
name.
called who?
My employer
And
that I work
said-
for. I work for a wireless company. And I activate cell phones and things like that. He called them and said that these phones are in my name and he keeps on activating phones in my name at your workplace.
Did your employer look at it?
Yeah, total
And what was
investigation for fraud, you know, is a big deal. And
it was found untrue?
inconclusive because it
Not
was,
inconclusive, untrue.
it was untrue because
Why
I was
did you say inconclusive?
I was an authorized user on the account. So I had the ability to do so.
Go ahead, sir. With your unpaid loans, what else?
I had a promissory note on the gun. Whenever
Let's see it. He admitted to stealing your gun and agreed to repay you. What else about the loans?
I have a series of loans here from, let me put my glasses on.
I know you ain't loaned this man no money. I guess that was in between
Well, he
making
was-
his life
he-
a living hell.
He was
Nickel
working
and
and had a
diamond
good
needed
job whenever I lent him the money or loaned him the money. But you can have a copy of
Let's
this
see
if
it.
you want.
Sir, do you owe him money? Did he loan you money?
He loaned me money like any father should loan their
No,
children
a
money.
father shouldn't do nothing when you're overgrown
mean?
like you.
A $10 loan, $5 loan. He's nickel and diamond me to death.
Attorney
you know?
fees. Did he have to pay $400 on your behalf to an attorney?
If he wanted me to stick around and not go
No,
to
I
jail.
wouldn't have if I were him. 2,468 because I don't want you sticking around today. I think you're a liar and you owe. Have a good day.
Oh, I'm just glad it's over. It's been, you know, they've been fighting over this for years and I'm sick of it and I'm just glad it's over.
We still spend time together. I mean, even through all this, he comes over a couple of nights a week for dinner and spends the night. So
I've just been avoiding this man like the plague. I'm glad that it's all said and done with because I really haven't had a real relationship with these people in a long time. So.